Good afternoon. I'm tired. It's been a difficult week. It's been a really difficult week for people. Seeing some behaviors that really new behaviors. I was talking a little bit about that. I guess being vague about it. One of them was a person having an overdose on drugs. Appeared to be ketamine. I really want to get out of Portland. Going out to Mule Days, gone to Enterprise, Oregon. My last vacation out to Christmas Valley. And I think about culture. Like, so I've been in Portland my whole life, and I watch the culture change, and like it doesn't change. I guess it splinters and fragments. Like, I was talking to somebody a little bit older than me that also grew up here in Portland. Actually, we even grew up kind of close to each other. Unincorporated land in between Portland and Gresham, like dirt roads, septic tanks. People grew food, plants and rabbits, ducks, horses, and I said, do you remember a time where it was so ordinary to expect politeness that if it sounded like someone said something insulting or rude, instead of getting angry, you'd tell them, like, I missed what you just said. Can you tell me again? And you'd realize, like, they said something that sounded like something else. Like, he's like, I do remember that. I remember, like, feeling when that went away. And it goes away by people going to a place. They're like, this place is nice. The people are so nice. People smile at you and they say hi. And you come from a place where that's not normal, and you don't adopt your own smile and your own wave and your own say hi. Like, you go there because it's safe and it's nice and friendly, and then eventually it stops becoming safe, nice, and friendly. It becomes like the place that you left. So oddly enough, I was actually looking at communities to move to that actually have populations that are dwindling. These places are going to be people that probably are unlikely or can't leave a small community. I don't necessarily see that as an awful thing. There's in Tibet, there's a community where a really high percentage of all the porters that go to the top of the mountain come from. And a lot of times, like, just on one of their salary, they could move their whole family out of the valley they've been living in for just all the generations. For as far back as their family could remember, they've lived in that valley. And now they're living in Nepal or wherever, and this person does his portage up to the top of Everest, and then his whole family lives off his paycheck for a whole year. And the people there are sad about their dwindling numbers, but like their culture there is as unadulterated as humanly possible. Like one of the things about like theft there, or the generosity there, is pretty much everybody knows what everyone else has, and everyone doesn't have very much. Like, it's poverty, it's perpetual poverty, but perpetual successful poverty. And as a person has been poor for most of his life, poverty is obviously not great, but it's not terrifying. Like being hungry. When I was working in a restaurant, that was part of the reason why I got that restaurant job. Is because I would be guaranteed at least 5 meals a week, and I'd pick up shifts to get more food and more money. And then sometimes I would barter that into getting a free meal on my one day off, or like my next day off. And they fought that. Like, oh my God, a free dinner I'm like, no, I'm doing you a favor. I'm doing something that, like, you're actually, like, the company's spending money right now trying to replace this shift, and that, they're paying you a wage, and that's what you're doing right now. Like, or that money could stop draining out of the company for the cost of a hamburger. They usually went for it. But moving to a small community, so then one of the things like that I was thinking about is you want to do community things. You want to be known in the community. And so you're like, so I'm not a religious person, but I would make sure I was at church. And it's going to church, whether or not you're sitting with people who really are Christians or people that pretend to be Christians but really they're bad people. They are there to show that I agree and with these tenets. I agree with this way of life, even if it's a lie. But it does show, like, you show your face in the community. You show that, like, I'm here listening to this philosophy of behavior, and that implies that you agree to it. And so if they see you, and they don't know you very well, but they know that you're at church each week, then there's going to be a natural assumption that, well, like, there's a good chance he is, like Christians say, someone whose behavior we could count on, as opposed to that one guy that you see occasionally, like, no one really knows him, we don't know what he's up to, and he keeps to himself. Like, that's just a question mark. So, like, that was one thing, like, walking with Aquila at places, like, I would try to be as obvious as possible with what I was doing, because, like, if someone could tell what you're doing, it removes the question marks. That person's walking with, I even have a Starbucks cup that looked like a paper Starbucks cup, so it's very, very obvious that I'm having expensive coffee, walking my dog, trespassing, essentially. Like, I just want to go check out some industrial area, and I'm walking back behind some warehouses. People see me, they come out to find out what I'm doing back there, and then they see me and my dog and my coffee cup, and they're like, oh, he's just walking his dog. As long as there's not lots of thefts taking place, no one's going to mess with you. You fit. You're a square peg that fits that square hole. And I know even a small community is going to have crime, going to have drugs, drug abusers and stuff like that, but, like, at least the numbers go way down. I was looking at crime statistics in big cities, and it's almost like a likelihood that you're going to encounter some kind of crime on a regular basis. I mean, I just encountered it last week. So there's a likelihood in a small community that you'll leave your lawnmower out, and then you'll come out there and your lawnmower's gone. You'll probably could guess which kids took it. And, like, you're not going to avoid human beings being human beings, but you can minimize the percentage by minimizing the population. And goddamn, man, I think that, like, you look at these aging populations, these towns that are dwindling, like it's brain drain in a way, our youth drain. If you could leave these communities, you just do. And so, like, there's some of these communities, small communities, that the average age there is over 55. And, there's not going to be 60-year-olds. Well, there could be. But there's likely not going to be 60-year-olds, dropping needles in front of your house, or taking your lawnmower or something like that. Like, I've been in Portland too long, man. I would not move to this city. It's not where I grew up at all. And I just pulled up, like, a list of, like, it's like something like 30 major retailers that closed one or every store they had in the last 2 years. Like, one of the things they listed was crime and theft. Like, so, twice. So if it's theft, then you just need to say theft, because theft is a crime. But some companies said crime and theft, which means violence. It might mean homeless people camping on the property, vandalism, crime and theft. 30 major retailers in 2 years. And also, I noticed they were listing how many of their employees they were able to transition to another location or have you, and some listed 0. And so some of these that are trying to say like, well, we're trying to save as many jobs as possible, have forecasted more closings. And I think the idea is like they can't rehome all their employees if they close everything they want to close right away. So they're going to be closing over the years, basically giving everybody like, hey, it'd be really great right now if everyone started looking for a job. We're going to try to move you into something as the years go on, but like maybe not too. So Portland's obviously not dying or anything like that. This isn't like I'm not saying like this place is falling apart. Like, it's not falling apart, but things that have been a part of its past that made Portland what it is are gone, flat out gone. Like, you know, like you take your kids to Jansen Beach and ride a really old antique carousel, and now you can't. And you're probably never gonna. You're live in Portland. You're probably never gonna ride an antique your kids will not ride an antique carousel. That shit is over.